Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the collective. Stop, it's a force of habit. I have to do it to warm up the room. This is something else. Yeah, we met 2 weeks ago, and they twisted my arm and said, why don't you speak on public speaking, commanding a room? You've done that stuff before. But I didn't know I was going to be on the same bill as your mayor. I just moved here, and I'm already like, why am I on the same bill as the mayor? He's the mayor. He's the man. I mean, I'm just a little resident. I moved to Central Florida, and I'm loving it already. My wife finally twisted my arm and convinced me to come down here. So we're really enjoying ourselves, and I thank you for welcoming me. I'm very honored to be here at this fantastic event and organization. I just love all the things I've been hearing. And it really dawned on me, this is like my own slideshow? Okay, I'm not good with that stuff, but you can click away. Thank you. Well, anyway, I'm honored that I was asked to come here and I guess give you lessons in public speaking or a presentation in public speaking, which hasn't always been my forte. When I was a kid, I had the biggest insecurity about my speaking voice, so it's a bit odd that I would grow up and be the biggest mouth in the circus. And it was a fantastic ride. I want to start by giving you a tale of two ringmasters. Let's click away. There you go. Okay, well, the first ringmaster was 22 years old. So I was 22 years old when I began my career. And it was really exciting. The way they got me was they said, you know, we want a singing ringmaster. I had no idea that the circus actually had a great musical legacy, but it did. And I thought, why not? I was actually at an audition for something completely different. I was there for a dinner theater. My plan, after graduating the Hart School of Music, University of Hartford, with a degree in voice, don't tell me what I was going to do with that, but I was going to study to be an opera singer. So my plan was to go off to Europe right after college. And that was all set up. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll just raise some money so I can survive. So I went to a dinner theater audition, and you know, it went well. And then I got this odd phone call from Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, and they said, you know, we'd like to know if you'd like to try out for Ringmaster. You know, the director of the dinner theater is also directing Ringling Brothers. He gave us your name. And I just thought, I was 22 years old, single, and in that stage. So I was thinking, Ringmaster, that's like a great pickup line. So yeah, sure. So I was among 30 other candidates, and basically the rest was history. It went well, it was wonderful, and it was fantastic. And this ringmaster, me, had a great time. And I was really pretty good. I was actually I was really, really good. Even Barbara Walters said so. So I thought, well, that was great. So after 6 years, I left the show. And I did what all actors do. I starved and I hustled. And then I came back. This is the other ringmaster. When I came back, I gained a little weight, and I cut off my hair. Now I want you to understand that was a major, major thing for me, because the first tenure with Ringling Brothers, I coveted my hair. I don't know if we have any pictures of me with hair, but it was beautiful. And I really loved my hair. And I went crazy because I was like, man, I'm losing my hair. I could see I was doing LeBron James. And I was like, you know, I would pray about it and I'd take all these pills. It was terrible. But anyway, one time I just let it go, just let it go. And so in my second tenure with The Greatest Show on Earth, I came with company. I came with a wife and 2 children. And this is where our lesson comes alive. I realized there was a major difference between the two. And this is what's going to pertain to you in your pursuit of public speaking, which all of you will have to do since you're in the business of begging for money. I realized that my first tenure was really all about me. It was about me giving a great performance. And I gave an adequate performance. But the funny thing was, the younger me got sick more. He whined a lot. He was really self-absorbed. Version number 2, although he was older, he had something to take care of. He had a family. And suddenly, he had purpose when he went out to perform. And he got sick less, he whined less, and he was more liberated. So what am I telling you? A lot of what you hear about public speaking is people are just so afraid, I'm dying, I can't do it, my throat gets dry, the hands, anxiety, the whole bit. What I want you to consider is it's not fear, it just might be your ego. Because most of us, what do we want to do? We want to give a good impression. And who can blame you? You're begging for money. So you want to give a good impression. But what I want to insist that you understand, it's not always fear. And here's how I got there. Once I started becoming a fan of the work, meaning my colleagues, the animals, the environment in which I worked, everything else took care of itself. I even sang better, I announced better, everything was free, and it meant something because I was becoming obsessed with the subject and not me. It wasn't about how nervous I was going to be if I can present something. I really didn't have to do much. I will grant you that I didn't have to do much. Look how I was dressed. I didn't have to do much. And when your coworkers are 4-ton elephants, you don't have to do much. Nobody's coming to see you. So you get a lot of practice of leaving yourself behind. So the lesson I gained from that is be a fan of your message. Be a fan of your work. And one of the things I did differently when I came back to the show is I actually spent time with the acts, real time with the acts, not just hanging out. I actually got to know their origins, why they would do the stuff they did. I would hang out with them. I would actually work out with them, which I would never recommend to anybody. The most horrible thing I ever did was work out with a circus performer, and everything hurt. And I got to know these people in such a wonderful high level. I even started writing for the Huffington Post. I would do profiles on them. What it did is it empowered me to represent them and really be a real adequate spokesperson for them. So it allowed me to leave myself behind, and becoming a fan of them, the message, the circus itself, actually illuminated my performance. So it wasn't about me, it was about the message. It was becoming a fan with the message. And this is probably the most important thing you're going to get out of this, because there are no seminars, webinars, or lectures that can make you a better public speaker. The fact is, you just have to get up and do it. You have to just get up and do it over and over again and embrace failure. Embrace falling on your face. It's fine. You'll get up again, you'll have more practice. Granted, I had a lot of practice. I did 450 shows a year. I had a lot of practice. But the thing is, the joy is, the journey is becoming a real obsessive fan about your message. I believe if whatever it is you do does not occupy your consciousness at least 80% of your day, you might want to rethink why you're doing it. It should be something that consumes you. It really should. It should be something that has you talking to yourself. You should be in front of your bathroom mirror at least 3 times a day. And not really doing it on purpose. It should be something that it's like a compulsion. One of the great things about the circus is everybody who was there was really in their place. From the ringmaster to the guy who swept the poop off the floor. And everything worked in sync. because everybody was in a place, everybody was obsessed about their message. So understand, obsession is a good thing. I'm also a New Yorker, so when I tell you talking to yourself is okay, it really is okay. I want you to lose the fear of looking crazy. Be crazy, it's fine. I'm from New York where they allow you to do that, and that's a great advantage. Nobody bothers you. But your message is the core to this whole thing. It is the main reason for you to stand up here and let the world know what you're about. You're proselytizing. You're sharing a message. You know, it says, the scripture said, you know, be prepared to give a reason for why you believe. And you should be prepared, and nobody can do that for you. I can lecture till the cows come home, because 15 minutes is not enough, Andre. I'm just letting you know, it's just not enough. But the reality is, this is something that has to be rooted in your core. Now, I suspect everybody who has chosen their particular mission felt pulled towards it. There's something wonderful about it. And I have a great respect for non-for-profit organizations because, look, I'm a product of one. The Boys Choir of Harlem was a grand organization in New York City. It was a great boy choir that really opened up the world to me. It's really why I'm standing here now. I grew up in the backdrop of the crack cocaine era in New York City when AIDS was at its height. And in the middle of that in Harlem was this beautiful song of hope, where you had all of these young kids from all these different neighborhoods singing everything from Bach to Mozart to Duke Ellington to hip hop. And that was because of non-for-profits. And that was because somebody opened up the way for someone else. So you all are doing noble work. And so with that in mind, be obsessed. Be like my kid. My son he's a nerd, and I love it. And I really do. I encourage him to be a nerd. He said, Daddy, you say that like it's an insult. I said, it's not an insult. I said, it's great. He gets up, he can tinker. He's been doing it since he was 2. He gets up the first thing in the morning, he's building something. He's creating something. He's been like this since he was 2. And if you ever read the background of highly successful people, the stories are almost always identical. They can't tell you why they did it. They can't tell you why they were drawn to it. They just were. And they obsessed over it. This is going to be the bedrock of your entire public speaking career. How obsessed are you about your message? How important is it to you that it gets out as far as it can? You're going to be in front of people with hopefully deep pockets. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. Believe me, I come from New York City where the greatest public speakers are panhandlers. Greatest public speakers you'll ever meet. These people know their market. They have a story. They know it well. I've known some of these people. They've been doing it for years, too. I've seen them. They don't ask me for them because I know them. I see them. So they don't come up to me, but they know their market. They get you a tourist season, but they're impassioned, for better or for worse. They're impassioned. Finally, I want to tell you, is when you study your message, when you get it down to the recesses of your soul, remember you're nothing more than a conduit. You are a vessel. Let the message do the work. Let the message do the work. Leave behind the idea that you have to put on a performance, that you have to do something. Because I can assure you, the funders that you'll stand before and those people who can make those wonderful decisions for you, they don't care about you. They care about what you're bringing. They care about what you care about. And the only reason they're going to care about it and be enthusiastic about it is if you are. So is that good? Yeah? That's all right? You like that? You see what I'm saying? I can only lead by example, kids. That just came off the top of my head. You see what I mean? You got to be obsessed with your message. Thank you all for welcoming me. Thank you for having the patience with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right.